Hello, my name is Keyi Kemi Chang, a mom with 2 kids attending schools in Palo Alto Unified School District. We love this city because of its beautiful, friendly neighborhoods, diverse community, and outstanding schools. There are 2 well-known public high schools, Henry M. Gunn High School, also known as Gunn, and Palo Alto High School. We call it Pali. Gunn and Pali are highly ranked schools because of its excellent academics, as well as notable extracurricular and sports activities. What kind of learning environment these schools offer? Any new changes and policies in the school year for 2015? How do they balance a sense of high achievement with emotional well-being? Let's start with Gunn.
Exciting.
Unique. Competitive.
Hardworking.
Passionate.
Diverse, definitely.
Yeah, diverse.
It's a very vibrant learning environment.
I like it.
Well, I like it.
Gunn's an extremely special school.
She's literally the most diverse group of friends I've ever
Yeah, I know,
seen.
right?
Your friends are from all over the world.
I mean, when you're in middle school, people aren't really caring about their grades, and once you get to high school, it just starts kind of right away, and people are always comparing each other.
There is the competitive nature, but it's only because people are, from my experience, striving to do their best and to produce the best work they can in what they care about.
So yeah, I found a positive experience with the hardworking atmosphere.
The students very much support each other, and the slogan that we have for our school, we're all in this together, I feel that on our campus every day.
Gunn students are from all over the world. According to U.S. News and Report, it is highly ranked in California. What does the ranking mean?
I think they play a role, but I think that you can't measure some of the things that really make a school special. Like it doesn't really measure the vast curriculum that we have. It doesn't measure how caring our teachers are. It doesn't measure how much our community values education. So I think those things that many of those rankings don't measure are more important than some of the more traditional ways of thinking, is this a good school or not? I'm very proud that we're a very high achieving academic school, but I think that there's a lot more to that for being the best high school we can be.
We had this program called WASC come to review our school. WASC is where a bunch of teachers from California, different schools, they come down to Gunn and Pali, and they just go to our programs and our classes, and they assess how well our teachers teach, assess how well our sports are, and how good our programs are. And they were really impressed with our school. Like, they didn't know that we had all these art programs, all these like industrial tech studios, a big theater, and like all the sports we have. They were extremely impressed. They've never seen it before.
With the hardworking atmosphere and the drive to do one's best, what does the competitiveness mean to the students and the school?
And one thing I dislike is what I said earlier, the competitive nature of everything. Everyone's just trying to be better than everybody the whole time.
Part of the problem is the competition among the kids themselves. It's a community issue. This is not just a school issue. It starts with parents and students. And I appreciate that they want to excel and do well. But again, if they're worried about what their friends are getting for a grade, that's distracting from learning. And we kind of need to reshape some of the parents' expectations in the culture here. These schools are gifts to our students, are a gift to our state, they're a gift to the future of our country. But not if the pressure is just where are you going to school next. It's what are you going to learn? What are you doing with what you're learning?
At Gunn High School, I feel like an A is average, and then anything below you're considered kind of inferior. I feel like a lot of it comes from the parents, because the parents really want their children to get all A's, like be the best in everything, and it creates a lot of stress for them and other people just trying to get through their day and do the best they also can.
At Gunn High School, students are proud of their excellent programs. But at the same time, they feel it is a highly competitive learning environment. What are the changes that will be implemented for the coming school year to depressurize the academic stress?
There's a lot of changes that are coming right now at Gunn because of the recent tragedies that we've had.
We need to reduce some of the academic pressure and actually kind of redirect some of the students' efforts. Again, redirect it away from just seeking high grade point averages toward learning for learning's sake and nurturing that sense again of curiosity and creativity. We don't want to eliminate stress because they need to be resilient. Right? They need that strength and self-confidence. So some steps that we're taking. Number one, we're enforcing the homework policy. And we actually wrote a new clause in our homework policy that says the weekly average for high school students, even students in honors and advanced classes, should be no more than 15 hours a week. We're also going to look at some homework-free weekends, some homework-free holiday periods. But that said, I think there's some actually more important steps, and one is frankly this new bell schedule at Gunn High School, where we have longer class periods, so the students have more time teachers have more time to teach, frankly, and the students now, instead of having 6 classes a day, have 4, so they don't have 6 homework preparations every night. They have more time to learn. They have 10-minute passing periods so they can stay after class and talk with their teachers rather than rush out the door and say, oh, I didn't get it.
I do know that with our change to a new block schedule, teachers are going to be working on their curriculum, and that is something that they are definitely putting as one of their planning tools, is looking at the homework policy as they're deciding how much homework is appropriate.
For 4 years, Pally's block schedule has a 90-minute class period. How about Gunn's new block schedule?
But the average is about 75 minutes. So the teachers actually can teach a lesson and then have times to do more projects, right, and do more small group activities. The teachers have more time to work with individuals needing extra help or provide challenge for those that need some extra challenge.
We also added a second tutorial. Right now we have 1 tutorial per week, and it's only at the end of the day. And some of our students have already left campus. When we looked at other schools and their schedules, they found a lot of success by putting one of the tutorials in the middle of the day.
I think kind of weird for some students, a tutorial period in the middle of the day, because I think a lot of people won't take advantage of it and they'll go out to lunch or just hang out or something.
Yeah.
But with the block schedule, I mean, it's going to be a hard transition, so people are just going to have to, get
Give it a
used to
try
it.
and see how it works.
And a third is really assuring that we have enough counseling and support staff to help students who are under stress. We want to start again next year, having every student in middle school and high school have the time to check in with a counselor during the year, once or twice during the year, and make that mandatory.
So all of our freshmen and all of our sophomores this next year will have a month-long unit that helps them learn how to use their breath, how to understand their emotions, how to use stretching and other kinds of techniques to really, when they're feeling anxious or when they're feeling overwhelmed, that they have some tools. Students helped me pick which program.
Really?
Yeah.
They got their input?
Yes. Yeah, we had a Saturday morning pilot session, and we had about 30 Gunn students attend, and there was about 10 Pally students too, so we wanted them to have the opportunity. And after the 2-hour program, the students unanimously said, yes, we think this will be good for students, and please bring this to our school. It's been a very challenging year, having lost 3 students. So we've done to try and take care of our students and their needs as they are going through the grief process, and we're also trying to take care of our teachers. So we've offered mindfulness classes for our teachers. We're trying to make sure that as adults, we're modeling for students that it's good to have skills to take care of yourself.
Schoology is a communication tool for students and their teachers. Teachers post homework assignments, class notes, and school projects on this website. It's just like a Facebook for school. Well, not exactly, but you get the idea.
I really like Schoology because I have to miss class a ton for baseball, so maybe I miss 2 hours of school a day to play games. So when I miss class, I can go to Schoology, and PowerPoints and presentations will all be on there, and notes, and it's really, really helpful. Yeah.
But I am proud to report that starting next fall, all teachers will be using Schoology, and
Exciting.
It's very exciting. I know the parents and students really value the idea of having one place to go. Most teachers were posting assignments, but it was on a personal website or something else, and it was adding a few extra steps. Actually, one parent reported that they had 7 different places to go to find, because their student was taking 7 classes.
Thumbs up for Schoology. What about AP classes? How many can students take per year?
There is no cap. We have a new recommendation for students to not take any more than 2 AP classes per year. So students who sign up for 3 or more, we are sending a letter home saying that we think that the workload may be demanding and that we want to make sure that parents and students are aware that if they have a lot of hard classes and they want to be active in co-curriculars and maybe do some family or spiritual work, that it might be a lot for them, and we want to make sure people go into each year with a very healthy perspective on what the time demands are going to be.
This is more of a factor of college admissions than it is something than our culture here. So I'm already working with people over at Stanford to try to change this conversation, to change some admission practices and policies. And we have a consortium of districts like ours around the country, and this is one of our goals next year. We're going, as a group, start meeting with admissions directors and say, our top students are really, they're hurting themselves by taking too many APs, and we need you, as the top colleges, to start rethinking how you admit students and what you're looking for from our students.
Zero period is an optional early morning class, starts 7:20 before regular classes start. Beginning 2015, zero period will only offer physical education, no more academic classes.
This is an administrative responsibility. This is not, board policy. This is, somebody needs to make a decision. The buck stops with me, and I made the decision. So we're still having zero period for physical education. There's a lot of benefits to regular daily exercise, getting up and exercising. But we have changed the schedule now. I think if I had not changed that zero period policy, we'd be stuck with the same schedule that we had in the past for another year, 2 years, 3 years. So it was a hard decision to make. I hate disappointing students, but I think in the long run it was in their best interest, and that's my job, to look out for the best interest.
Maybe for sports or something like that's an option I would have seriously considered this year. So I would have to miss less school, and I would have less to catch up on. And so they made a decision to get rid of it, which affected a lot of students. Then after they made that decision, they talked to the students about it. So the student voice was totally ignored there.
The superintendent and the principals and the teachers, they're just trying to switch things up to try to help us. So I think I'm just going to trust them with this, and if it's not going to work, they'll just switch back. So we've got nothing to lose.
Here in Palo Alto, we have lots of hands-on learning opportunities in elementary and middle schools. With the new block schedule, will there be more project-based type of learning in our high schools?
I'm a huge supporter of project-based learning. When I was a classroom teacher, I had 90% of my classroom interactions with my students were around project-based units and lessons. So that's who I am as a teacher. That's how I believe kids learn best. That's how we learn as adults, and they're young adults. So I see lots of examples of project-based learning at Gunn's campus, and I think the transition to the block schedule will allow for even more.
I personally love hands-on projects, and I think it's with those types of projects that I've experienced, it's a lot of personal learning and independent learning, which I think is a really useful skill to learn. And it's also group work too, so it's teaching you skills you need to learn while also learning about the subject material.
I'm most excited about, we're starting next year this Advanced Authentic Research Program as a pilot. And actually, we have right now a science research project over at Pali. We're going to bring the similar project to Gunn, but we're expanding it beyond sciences to the humanities, to the social sciences. And the way this works, it's an elective class, but students still get credit. If the students want to do a year-long research project on a topic which interests them, we match them up with a mentor out in the community, out in the field, and so they can actually leave school and work on that project. I've had a history professor already from Berkeley call and say, hey, I read about this. I'd love to help out in some way. I have a professor at University of California, Santa Cruz say, if anybody's interested in astronomy, I can help with that. I mean, people are actually coming to us already saying, how can we help with these kind of projects?
That sounds like a great learning opportunity. What possible effect will this type of curriculum have on college admissions evaluation?
What we find, and several other students who I've personally mentored and others, is this is what colleges are looking for. In fact, one of my favorite stories is this young woman, Iris, who I think her total SATs were 2150 or something. They were okay, but she worked at Fermilab on a research project for 2 years, Fermi National Accelerator Laboratory. She didn't go to class on Wednesday. She worked at the laboratory.
In high school?
In high school. She got into Caltech early decision with a 2150, which is okay, but not great, based on a research project. So the students who do these research projects, this will be on their transcript, the name of the project, who their mentor was, and frankly, you'll find the colleges start competing for students like this.
It could be a more interesting and practical learning environment if students can balance testings with some hands-on learning programs. Before we wrap up, a few suggestions. Many people think the color of Gunn's older buildings are dull and depressing. Can we add some colors to make it more vibrant?
I agree. I think we could use a new color scheme to kind of match the vibe of the students and faculty. And Dr. Hermann and I talked about this, and we have an okay from the board to do it. So it looks like not this summer, but a year from now, we'll give this a whole makeover in terms of paint. And I think we can probably do some more landscaping outside.
I think they should add more places on campus for students to relax, because there is a decent amount of outdoor space, but there's really not too many places for everyone to sit down.
I would also like that, but I want more activities to do during lunch, because sometimes it gets boring, you don't really know what to do. They have a lot of clubs, but like she was mentioning, the SAC, the Student Activity Center, they have like ping pong in there, and then I feel like they could add a lot more things like air hockey, foosball. They also have like video games. I feel like they could really make more additions to that to improve it.
I think the other thing we need to do is really work on sleep. And really, because I think one reason kids don't get enough sleep, frankly, is not homework. It's because they're too busy with their electronic devices and talking to friends. And so, you're going to see next year more emphasis on working on, frankly, parent education. You need to stay up. You need to outlast your kids as moms and dads. You really can't go to bed before they do, because after you do, they're up really late, and that leads to a lot of pressure. It leads to all kinds of problems. So we're all in this together, to depressurize the environment.
There you go, working on sleep. Sounds good to me. After a good night's sleep, feel free to share your thoughts with friends and family, the school, or with me. Lots of new policy will be taking place this year. This includes new bell schedule, homework policy, 0 period. In addition, Gunn is adding second tutorial, wellness PE program, 1-year research program, and a few more counselors to provide a different learning experience. It will take time to transition to the new changes, and I hope school officials' words will come to fruition. I would love to bring you the updated information in the future. As a community, we are in this together. I'm hoping we can help each other to raise happy, healthy, responsible, and resilient kids.